Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, today I want to share with you a very brief story about of resilience, determination, and spirit of Ukrainian science. It's a story that demonstrated that knowledge has no borders, and why initiatives like Research for Life are not just beneficial, but essential lifelines. You know, then, okay. Then Ukraine, then Russia aggression began in 2014, and then with full-scale invasion in February 2000, 3.5 years ago, Ukraine's scientific community faced not only challenges but crises. Universities were bombed, laboratories destroyed, and researchers forced to flee their homes. At least 50 universities were relocated from occupied territory to the west of Ukraine. And at least, you see at the slide, at least 20% of scholars, of Ukrainian scholars, left the country and increased the biggest refugees crisis in Europe from the Second World War. Today, Ukrainian scientists often works from bomb shelters, continue research between air raid Syrian. Sometimes we transform our basement into laboratories and conduct webinars and virtual conference from underground metro station or bomb shelters. PhD students defend their dissertation online. While shells fall outside the windows, etc., etc. So, but we still live, and it's not scientific collapse. It's a crisis, it's a critical challenge, but it's not a collapse. And we think just now about the strategy to resilience, recovery, and reconstruction of Ukraine science ecosystem during the war and after the war situation. And we need to transfer our scientific efforts not only in humanities or social science, such as or agriculture before the war situation, but also for innovation in mental health, in psychological, in defense, of course, and different aspects of society. In the darkest time, knowledge becomes our light, and access to information becomes our path forward, And of course, Ukrainian science today is not just surviving, it's innovating, collaborating, contributing to global knowledge from bomb shelters and refugee centers. This is only possible because initiatives like Research for Life ensure that geographical isolation and physical destruction cannot isolate minds hungry to knowledge. Some brief slides about my library. I work at the State Scientific and Technical Library, one of the biggest in Ukraine, and the information and administrative hub for innovation in open science. We constructed the open data repository. We constructed many initiatives like a CRIS system for Ukraine, not only for our library, but for all university. We are also the national coordinator of electronic resource access, not only for Research for Life, but for Scopus, Elsevier, Bentham Science, and Electronic Information for Library Consortium. As Research for Life national country connector, you see our increasing the we have granted access, of course, thank you, Research for Life. We have waived for payment, and we have granted access to full text electronic scientific research portal, and the situation we have 640 universities and scientific institutions, not only scientific institutions, but also just now hospital, clinics, some NGO who supported the military recovery, etc., etc. And almost every scholar in Ukraine has access to Research for Life. But as many countries mentioned, active user is more than 50%. It's not enough, we think, and we increase this promoting about Research for Life resources all around Ukraine, and we promote the social media and webinars and trainings. We have two target groups, as many country connector heads. So one of them is librarians, so trainers for trainers, and the second one is scholars and publishers. So we provide many webinars, including this year 18 webinars with total number of participants 7,000. It's a good for us. We have help desk, of course, I told you a few days ago, and we have some initiatives like the Blessing mentioned the Dutch webinar for our publisher, and just now we also preparing the special memorandum between Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine and Directorate of Open Access Journal to promote the Ukrainian scientific journal into the global community, etc., etc. We did also Research for Life video project with the good interview, and please share with website, Research for Life website, you can see it. I told about this. We have campaign to attract ambassadors. We have 16 only in all around the country, but we have to promote, to be more active, to attract the ambassador, because it's a main person in each university, so the ambassador. And the main challenge and issues from our ambassador from this year, the fresh survey, it's our university relocated, and we have some problems. We have language barrier, of course. We need Ukrainian language content and interface. The variety of our available resources, we have duplicating resources with some another database, etc., etc., etc. So the same I reflect from other countries. Our plans and goals the same as in many countries also. And for conclusion, I'd like to say that Ukrainian experience once again, about scientific knowledge knows no borders and recognizes no conflicts. Then we provide researchers with access to information. We are not just supporting individual careers, we are investing in human resilience and future innovation. Research for Life demonstrated that investment to information access can return during time of crisis. And in supporting program like Research for Life, you are not just investing in Ukrainian science, you are investing in the principle that knowledge belongs to all humanity, regardless conflict or crisis. You provide the hope. Thank you.